Want to know the latest in soccer? Then listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast. From MLS, the World Cup, and the Premier League, we've got you covered. The latest updates, the hottest matches, and news on the league's top players. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast.
David Beckham scores the goal to take England all the way to the World Cup finals.
Listen now.
Thank you for listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast. We discuss everything there is to know in the world of soccer, including the top games and competitions from all around the world and the hottest summer transfers. I'm Ben.
I'm Alex.
And we are back after our, I don't know if you want to call it a vacation. Not a vacation, a business trip.
A business trip.
After our business trip from San Jose, Alex and I were both there on Tuesday for the MLS All Star Game. The game was on Thursday. We were there both on Tuesday. Went to the MLS practice, went to a press conference, and then unfortunately, Alex, you were not there Wednesday or Thursday. I was there on Wednesday. It was Arsenal training as well as MLS training. And then Thursday, of course, the game I was present at. Talk about sort of for you were just there for Tuesday. Your experience, how'd you liked it, everything. So, and then I'll say what I had to say.
Yeah, it was really great. We got to go and check in, get our media passes and everything. And yeah, we got to.
And our vests, don't forget.
And our vest. Oh, man, our MLS vests. Mine's in your trunk still.
It is. I'll give it to you when we leave.
Make sure my arms are nice and cool. So, yeah, no, it was really cool. They gave us our passes, and yeah, we got an MLS All Star vest because if you were a photographer, you had to wear that when you're down on the pitch. And then we got to go to the All Star and the Arsenal press conferences, and we have some interviews of those certain players and such coming up for you guys in a little bit later in the show. But we have, we got to do that. We ended up got to go to the MLS training, All-Star training later there at the stadium.
Yeah, Avaya Stadium in San Jose.
And we got to be down on the field, and we got to talk to some really great players. David Villa, who we had especially have interview-wise later on for you. We got to go, I've been to that stadium before, and it was much cooler being down on the the field.
Yeah.
But no, we got to go down there. We met a lot of nice people. It was just kind of surreal, being there. What about you? What did you think?
I think it's a good word, surreal. It was definitely a really fun experience.
Yeah.
Definitely really eye-opening. A lot that goes into really everything. A lot of people involved, a lot of members involved. It was really great. Tuesday, as you mentioned. Wednesday was a lot more relaxed. I don't know. There was only really there was a homegrown game, which was Mexico's under-20, and then like the homegrown players. So that was on Wednesday night, and then on Thursday we just had the game, obviously. So, but yeah, it was great. Like we had seats in the press conference. Unfortunately, you weren't able to. Not the press conference. I'm sorry, but the press box.
Yeah, I saw your Snapchats. I lived through you.
We had seats for the game at the press box. Unfortunately, you weren't able to go, but we had our own little section there. It was great. Got a great view of the whole entire field. Got to vote for the All-Star MVP, which was Chuba Akpom from Arsenal. We got to go to the press conferences, went to locker rooms. It was great. Met a lot of great people. Definitely a really, really fun experience. I want to thank everyone on behalf of the MLS, Major League Soccer, for letting us come out there. Everyone that's related and working for Arsenal FC with the training on Wednesday and the press conference after the game, they were all really friendly as well. So a great experience, and hopefully we'll be able to do more again here on the show in the future, as well for the sports show if we can get anything going for that too. So
yeah, we'll see if we can get to any earthquake games. Earthquake games, anything like that. That's relevant to the soccer show and the sports show.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. So.
I was saying too, real quick to tangent off. I was like, man, and I was talking to Tate about it. I was like, man, if only we were here during the Super Bowl earlier this year. He goes, oh yeah. He's like, I could. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I hate you.
Because the Super Bowl was in Santa Clara at Levi Stadium, so we.
Yeah, but the whole thing was in San Francisco, and I went to
right, all
awesome.
the media stuff. So
yeah, but not to tangent too far.
Things will come. So this was only the start for us here.
Not to tangent too far. It was really awesome.
Yeah. So as far as the MLS All Star Game is concerned, so Arsenal did come out on top 2-1. We had a goal from Arsenal in the 11th minute, scored by Joel Campbell off a penalty kick, and then the MLS All-Stars evened it right before halftime. Didier Drogba, Chelsea legend, now of the Montreal Impact, scores right at the end of the first half. Scores against Petr Cech going into the week. Everyone was talking about how he's really killed Arsenal in the past as a member of Chelsea, how excited he is to play against Arsenal and play against Petr Cech. So we have a soundbite here from Didier Drogba talking about after the game what it's like to score against Arsenal and Petr Cech.
I don't know. When you score once, you always want to score, and that's the spirit I have when I play, but every game, not only against Arsenal.
Drogba scoring 14 career goals against the Gunners, and adding to that here in the MLS All Star Game, Alex, definitely picking up where he left off at Stamford Bridge with Chelsea.
Yeah, no, I mean it was weird. He wasn't at training on Tuesday.
No, he did not train on Tuesday, and then he was there at training on Wednesday, though. But yeah, I don't know if maybe he had some sort of flight complication or, he had some sort of an injury setback. I don't think that was the case because he did play earlier in that week on Sunday. He had a hat trick. So I don't know. But yeah, definitely doesn't matter for training for him. He scores against Arsenal all the time.
Apparently so. I mean, it's just what he does, Some guys play soccer. He scores against Arsenal.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, we don't have to worry about that anymore because now he is in the MLS and Arsenal are back in London now. But anyway, so going on, so it was a 1-1 game at the half, and then really a lot of big changes. A lot of teams rotating in and out. The MLS side has a lot more players than the Arsenal side. A lot of the Arsenal players aren't here. They're on holiday, like Mesut Ozil. He was actually at the game on Sunday in LA though, as a spectator. He wasn't playing, but so people like Mesut Ozil, Olivier Giroud not really playing, and the MLS side have a lot more players. So a lot of changes going on. Like Andrea Pirlo and David Villa of New York City FC only played until the 30th minute. So obviously they don't want to get anyone hurt. You'll have the second half of the season here in the MLS going. So really smart by the MLS coach Dominic Kinnear and everything. So, but anyways, going on, Arsenal made a lot of changes, and then right before the end of the game, Alex, it would have gone to penalty kicks. But Arsenal made an attack. Nacho Monreal on the left side crosses it into Chuba Akpom to score the game-winning goal in the 87th minute.
Eventual MVP.
The eventual MVP, Chuba Akpom, to give them a 2-1 victory. So it was a great experience. It was great for Arsenal and great for, obviously, the MLS to put on an event like this and attract a big European club like Arsenal. The year before, they attracted Tottenham Hotspur to the game. And then the year before that, they had Bayern Munich, your favorite team from the German Bundesliga, Alex. So Dominic Kinnear, the head coach of the San Jose Earthquakes and of the MLS All-Star team, he sort of had something to say after the game about his whole experience and how the game went.
That was a good game. Some good chances on both sides of the ball. A lot of talented players on the field. Obviously, going into halftime with Didier scoring the goal right before the half gives us some momentum. We're making a lot of changes to represent most of the teams, all the All-Stars. In Major League Soccer, it's kind of going back and forth there, and unfortunately for us, they're the ones that got the goal late. So we had a good couple of chances late to obviously go ahead. It didn't happen, and they won the game. So I think a good event here in San Jose. I want to thank the mayor and Dave and John Fisher for putting on a great show. And obviously, really happy to be in the locker room with a great bunch of soccer players and men. So had a good time.
And so that was Dominic Kinnear after the game at the press conference, the MLS All-Star coach. Unfortunately, they did not get the job done. They lose to Arsenal 2-1 in the MLS All-Star game. But he also went on to mention how it was really an honor to coach them. Great legends of the game like Kaká of Orlando City. He was the team captain. Clint Dempsey, Kyle Beckham of the United States, as well as David Villa, Andrea Pirlo, NYCFC, Sebastian Giovinco, who plays for Toronto FC, Didier Drogba, who we obviously heard from earlier in the show, just to sort of coach them, train them, be involved with them the whole weekend for Kinnear and really everyone involved. It was a real honor. He went on to talk about that, Alex. And you would imagine getting able to coach legends like that, it would really sort of ease your way in coaching because you have sort of leaders on the pitch. It would really help you in that aspect. You don't really have to sort of, not necessarily do as much, but you have those on-the-field leaders that really help your sort of job coaching on the sidelines. Yeah,
because it's almost, especially with All-Stars, it's almost like you have like mini coaches throughout the squad,
Yeah, like you have people like leading the attack, leading the defense, the midfield. You have all these people that can sort of look at to being mentors in a way. So I think that's definitely really good and for everyone involved. So, and we're going to take our first break here at the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast.
That's it, Soccer Podcast.
Yes, and coming out of the break, we're going to do some more updates here on the MLS table. The MLS still winding on, as well as the rest of the United States tour for Arsenal. They had a game on Sunday against Chivas from Guadalajara, Mexico. And then they are currently back in London, but we're going to update you about the rest of their U.S. tour and how they looked not only in San Jose, but in L.A., because I was at the game. So
yes,
we'll be right back here at the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast. Alongside Alex, I am Ben. Back here jumping in to our second segment of the day. Going to be talking really quickly about the MLS standings. So after the MLS All Star Game, they got right back in action, Alex, just a few days after. So the game was on Thursday. Game's going in on Sunday. One game, New York Red Bulls and Chicago Fire ended up drawing 2-2. So here in the Eastern Conference, the standings, New York City FC, they are currently in first place with 36 points. David Villa is currently the MLS Golden Boot leader at the moment with 13 goals. This is what Villa had to say during one of the trainings about New York City FC and his goals.
Well, for me, the most important is the team. And of course, when you score a lot of goals, it's good for the team. I didn't see now the table of the top scorer because the most important for me is these 13 goals. It's for winning a lot of games and winning a lot of points for the team, and this is the most important for me right now.
And we apologize a little bit for that sound also. We were inside the arena during the training, the stadium, so it's a little loud. But
yeah, they were
okay.
Right after the training concluded, they were getting ready to go into a Special Olympics All Star Game.
Which was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was a great moment. ESPN helped organize it along with the Special Olympics, committee and everything. So it was great. It was great for the kids and everything. But they were, warming up out on the pitch, so there's a lot of music going on. So we apologize about the sound, but we gotta just kind of have to do what we can and live with what we have. So
it's still pretty good.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, that sounded a lot better than I thought it would because I couldn't.
You thought it was gonna sound horrible.
I couldn't even hear Villa talk because the music was so loud. I just really saw his mouth moving, and I figured we would totally be blasted out by the sound of the music that we really couldn't do anything. But obviously it worked out great. So
boom.
Yeah. So New York City FC currently atop the Eastern Conference standings at 36 points. Right behind him, their interstate rival, the New York City Red Bulls, coming off prior to the All Star Game, their 4-1 defeat over NYCFC. New York Red Bulls currently sit at 32 points. We interviewed midfielder Sacha Kljestan about what he thought about sort of their chase and how they sort of look to improve on that performance moving into the second half of the season.
Yeah, most important thing is to come out on top of the series while also getting us closer to NYCFC because they are still in first place, and that's the reality. Challenge ourselves to have a really good second half of the season and keep pushing ourselves up the standings. Obviously, we have big goals in mind. Qualify for Champions League again next season by finishing first in the East would be a good accomplishment. So keep pushing things along. We think 4 games unbeaten now. It's time for a good run to push us through the summer months and into the fall.
Yeah, so Sacha Kljestan mentioned 4 games unbeaten. You can now bring that to 5 after their draw on Sunday with Chicago Fire at 2-2. So coming in at third in the Eastern Conference is Toronto FC, led by Sebastian Giovinco. He's currently behind David Villa in the Golden Boot race. He has 12 goals. Scored a whirly on Sunday, Alex. I don't know if you got a chance to see that goal.
I didn't.
You need to look it up. It was
unbelievable. Look it up after
the
show.
By the little Italian man, Sebastian Giovinco.
He is quite small.
He looks okay. So we were at the training on Tuesday. he looks almost like somebody's son out there on the pitch. He's really that. He's listed at 5'4", but he looks almost like someone's son out there because you have a lot of the big guys, the defenders, pushing over 6 foot tall. So
and the coaches.
Yeah, I mean it was quite funny. But anyways, great player. So they're currently at third with Toronto FC. Right behind them is Philadelphia Union as well as 30 points, and the Montreal Impact at 30 points, number 5. And then we have New England Revolution bringing in the last playoff spot currently for the Eastern Conference at 26 points. Orlando City, led by Kaká, as well as 26, just behind on a goal differential right now. The DC United is 23 points. They're in 8th. We have Columbus Crew. They're in 9th place at 19 points in the Eastern Conference. And the Chicago Fire at 18, rounding out the Eastern Conference. Out in the West, we have FC Dallas leading the Western Conference with 44 points. Colorado Rapids at 38, right behind them. LA Galaxy, 3rd place, 36 points here in the Western Conference. Then we have 4th and 5th, both have 34 points. We have Sporting Kansas City and Real Salt Lake. Rounding out the last Western Conference playoff spot as it stands right now is the Vancouver Whitecaps at 30 points. We have the Portland Timbers at 29, right behind them in 7th place. San Jose Earthquakes in 8th place in the Western Conference with 27 points. Seattle Sounders, really a great MLS franchise recently, but not having a great season this year.
Not really, no, unfortunately, playing up there in CenturyLink.
Yeah, ninth in the Western Conference with 21 points. And rounding out the West, we have the Houston Dynamo at 20 points. So those are your MLS standings. We still have, for most teams, 10, 11, 12 games left for the MLS season, and then we move into the playoffs. So we'll have to always keep you updated here at the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast about everything MLS that goes on.
All right. Well, hey, we'll take our last break, and we'll head into some transfer news here for you for the last bit of news of the day of the week, heading into that. So here at the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast, we want to remind you we'll be right back.
Yes, we will.
Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
And welcome back to the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast.
Hey.
Alex, what's with the eyebrow
I
raising?
was going to bring us back because sometimes we don't really choose who brings back. So I went over, and then right when I went over, you went over, and I went, he's too quick.
I'm quick on the trigger.
For a 6-shooter, I'm not as quick as you.
I got the fastest hands in the West.
Fastest hands in the southwest quadrant.
What?
Of this room.
So, anyways,
Anywho.
I'm really in the southeast, but
I'm not great with.
you're more like northwest,
Okay, cool.
like the great northwest, like Seattle and like Portland and stuff. Okay, but anyway, so moving on, we're going to be talking really quickly before we jump into our transfers. Just really the Arsenal tour, really an update on their team. A lot of question marks going into this tour because Per Mertesacker, the giant German center back, is going to be out. Arsene Wenger went on to mention in the press conference on Tuesday he'll be out a few months. He didn't give an exact amount. Rumors are it's about 5 months with a knee injury, Alex.
Yeah, he did mention that on Tuesday.
So that looks like really you're looking at January, February for him to be gone.
Yeah.
And without him, you have Lauren Koscielny, but then you have a few young central defenders. One of them, Callum Chambers, who they had a couple of years now, and then Rob Holding, who came over from Bolton earlier in the transfer window for just about €2 million, £2 million. And he's really only 21 years old, so he's still really, really young. But he had an impressive run this United States tour, Alex. He played a full 90 minutes in the MLS All Star Game, really impressed greatly in that one. And then on Sunday, he played a full 90 minutes as well, and he actually got the first goal of the game for Arsenal, his first goal as a gunner. So really, really impressed with Rob Holding. I don't know if he's going to be really their first choice center back all year. Being so young in the Premier League, I would doubt it. They're still in the market perhaps for a central defender, and I think they really need one to bolster that squad. I think Holding's one for the future, one they can really look at in a couple of years and say he's going to be a very good player. So in addition, I thought that Granit Xhaka, he made his Arsenal debut on Thursday in the MLS All Star Game. He played the second half.
What was it that you asked?
That's a question I asked Arsene Wenger in the press conference. I asked him, would we see the debut of Granit Xhaka, and he said we would see him. He's not sure about his fitness level, so he would probably not play him all game, and he only played the second half. So and
you broke that news.
I broke that news. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
So kudos to GSMC Soccer Podcast for that.
I hope we got some kudos for that on the
Maybe
report.
we got some mentions, but
I sure hope so. I don't know. Did you read the report?
I didn't. But anyway, so Granit Xhaka really debuted really nicely. He played on Sunday as well. In the first half, I thought he looked really, really calm and collected in that midfield role, made a lot of really nice, sharp passes, and I think he can really be an anchor in that midfield for Arsenal. The guy who really impressed me most, though, was the right midfielder, right winger, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain.
It's a great name.
Yeah, Ox-Chamberlain.
No, Alex.
Oh, okay. Got it. I see what you did there.
I'm a funny guy.
So, yeah, he's had a great preseason, really. He scored Arsenal's first goal of the preseason against Lens in their first game. He had just chipped the keeper, really, really nice goal. On the MLS All Star Game on Thursday, he looked really sharp, really, really, really solid on that right side when he went in for challenges. He really took on people really nicely, got away from a lot of defenders. On Sunday in the game against Chivas, he scored just a magnificent goal on that right side, went past the fullback, he chipped it inside, and then scored just a curler right around the keeper in the bottom corner there. So Arsenal have been linked a lot of times to Riyad Mahrez over recent weeks, the Leicester City PFA Player of the Year, the right midfielder. But if Oxlade-Chamberlain is going to be playing how he has in the preseason, I really don't think they're going to need Riyad Mahrez. So we're going to have to see. Mm-hmm. I think it puts really Arsene Wenger in a tough decision here is, do you try and bring in Riyad Mahrez? It looks like they're going to have to pay somewhere around £40 million, somewhere around there. If they're going to have to bring in Riyad Mahrez for a large amount of money when he could really play the same position Oxlade-Chamberlain is right now because he's having such a good preseason, Oxlade-Chamberlain, that puts them in a predicament. Do you go with Oxlade-Chamberlain? You have other options on there like Theo Walcott, Alex Iwobi, or do you try and splash the cash for Mahrez?
That's another good name.
Alex Iwobi?
Yeah.
Like Alex Iwobi Wan Kenobi?
Ooh.
Like that one?
That was sick with it. I like that.
There we go. But anyway, so Arsenal, a very successful U.S. tour. They're now pushing towards the Premier League season. Their first game is August 14th, and they don't take a day off because they're starting against Liverpool, Alex, a great club.
Just right back at it.
Yeah, right into it against Liverpool. So Arsenal, as they get ready for that, they have a couple more games, one against Manchester City, and also playing over in Scandinavia as well. So they're getting ready towards the Premiership.
Scandinavia.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Anyways, so that was just an Arsenal recap. Now we're going to get into our transfers of the week, as well as transfer rumors. We had not necessarily a lot of big ones, Alex, but definitely some names on the move. And breaking is the first one is PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, have agreed a €25 million fee for Real Madrid forward Jesse Rodriguez. According to a lot of reports, he scored 5 goals and 6 assists last year for Los Blancos, the Champions League winners. Really unsettled at Real Madrid is Jesse Rodriguez. Didn't get a lot of first team action. Playing behind people like Cristiano Ronaldo, Karim Benzema, you would imagine he wouldn't get a lot of playing time. But now he's moving over to PSG, where I think he is going to get a lot of playing time. PSG just sold, not really sold, he was a free transfer, but Ibrahimovic is not at PSG anymore, now of Man United. Alex, do you see his goal on the weekend?
You know I did.
That bicycle kick after like 3 or 4 minutes?
I wouldn't say it was like a fall over side kind of kick. I wouldn't necessarily call that a bicycle kick.
But right away.
Like 3 minutes into his Man U career, man, he just boom.
Yeah,
I was
definitely.
Like, okay.
Like,
all right.
It's like, okay, Zlatan's in mid-season form
Zlatan is in mid-season form, he says later that day.
Okay, but anyway, so you have you don't have Ibrahimovic at PSG anymore, so you have Edison Cavani, who will probably play that central striker role that Ibrahimovic used to, and now I think you move Jesse Rodriguez into that left midfielder, left winger role where Cavani was because Ibrahimovic was playing in the middle. So I think that's definitely a good move for PSG. They've brought in a lot of great players, Ben Afra, just the list goes on and on for what they're doing. They also re-signed Marco Verratti to a long-term deal, did the French League champions. So they're moving towards trying to make a play at the Champions League. The French League, they definitely have a hold on that. They won the French League, Alex, by 31 points last year.
That's just a few points.
Just a little.
Just
over 10 games. But anyway, so that's the first one. That's definitely a big deal, Alex. Moving on, we have another striker. So we have Sevilla have completed the signing of striker from Toulouse. He's a Frenchman, Wissam Ben Yedder.
That's a solid name.
It's a great name.
There's such good names in soccer.
Yeah, Wissam Ben Yedder, he's 25 years old. It's about a €9 million fee, so really, really low, especially for a striker. A striker often demand a lot of money. Look what Higuain got last week. But Ben Yedder, he scored 17 goals in 35 League One appearances last season. He's definitely a good player. Moving over to Sevilla, who just sold Kevin Gamiro to Atletico Madrid, so they have a void there. So Wissam Ben Yedder, I think hopefully he can continue his great run of play from the French league over to the Spanish league.
Okay, I mean similar leagues in a sense, in the way that they are kind of the competition in sense, inside that league, pretty similar.
Yeah, I'd say the Spanish league's probably a little more competitive because you have
really
the giants
players and
you have the giants of Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid. In the French league, it's a lot of times it's really PSG and then the rest of the league. So, but anyway, so definitely a good move for Ben Yedder. I'm happy he got a move, and they had a void to fill after Sevilla just sold Kevin Gamiro to Atletico Madrid. It's a 4-year deal for Atletico Madrid. It's about 32 million euros. They obviously already have a great striker, as you well know, in Frenchman Antoine Griezmann. So I think he probably plays alongside Griezmann there. There were rumors that maybe Diego Costa of Chelsea, a former Atletico Madrid player, would maybe go back to the Spanish capital there. But now with Gamiro, I think
not happening.
I think it's not going to happen because you don't really have room for all of them. You know what I mean? And Diego Costa would demand a lot of money, probably a pretty penny, probably at least 60 million euros. So I think with Gamiro there, they're obviously not looking at bringing in Diego Costa. So that's just
the way
my thoughts.
The cookie crumbles.
Yeah, and then we have one that broke earlier today.
Okay,
Manchester City, Alex. I know you're not going to like this.
Well, hey, they didn't get Pogba, so it's not my problem because I know exactly who got him. I covered it last week on a sports show.
Well, it's not exactly confirmed yet. It hasn't.
You know what I mean?
The agreement
I didn't confirm it.
The sort of announcement.
The agreement is in place.
The announcement has not been set yet. But did you see over the weekend what Pogba did in L.A.?
Yes, I did.
How he signed that kid's jersey. Mm-hmm. So there was
sweet of him.
There was a nice young man, a kid in L.A. He got a customized Man United jersey, a number 6 Pogba jersey. And Paul Pogba actually signed it. So, I mean, if that's not a giveaway, I don't know what it is. And also, Juventus, Paul Pogba's, I'm going to say, current club he plays for, they took down all the pictures of Paul Pogba, like endorsing, the new kits or whatever. They took all those pictures off the website. Why would they do that if he's not gone, right?
Because it's going to happen.
Because it's going to happen. So, it hasn't been announced yet, but you got to think Pogba's moving on to Man United. But anyways, to Manchester City, Alex, they have completed the signing of Leroy Sané.
Yeah, whatever, man.
He's German.
I do like him. That's why I'm saying whatever.
And he's young. He's only 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Manchester City have to pay £37 million, so definitely quite a sum. And for a young guy, it's
quite a penny for a young fella.
Yeah, for a young guy, it's obviously really, really warrant. I mean, he's going to have a future. He's only 20 years old. You got to think as long as he stays and everything, he's going to be playing for at least 8 to 10 years for Manchester City if he can keep signing long-term deals. So he's formerly of Schalke, had a good season last year. He was part of the European Championship team for Germany. So, I mean, definitely he didn't really play that much, but definitely still be a part of that team is really, really something.
Yeah, with all the greats on that team.
Yeah, and only 20 years old. So hopefully he can really – I think he's maybe going to be – more of a backup, a rotational guy at City right now. But Pep Guardiola coming over from Bayern Munich, he's definitely bringing that German Bundesliga players with him. Mm-hmm. First, he brings in Sané now, and then earlier in the season, he brought in Ilkay Gundogan. So from
that's
Borussia,
a German name right there.
From Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah.
So definitely they're bringing in some of that German talent with him. Pep Guardiola is.
All right. I want to say one thing because I don't know how much time we have left on the show. Speaking of German players, I didn't get to mention this last week. My boy. My light of my life, my number one.
The love of your life.
Light of my life.
The light of your life.
Yeah, it's a Game of Thrones thing. My number one, Bastian Schweinsteiger, has retired from international German soccer.
Yeah, right after the European Championships, he scored a goal in their first game against Ukraine. But did you see there's some bad news about Schweinsteiger going on right now?
What is going on?
He's currently training with the under-23 Manchester United team. So he's not even with the first team.
Yeah, I'll let him do whatever he wants, man. If he's
there's rumors that he might be on the way out.
Understandable, you know.
And if he's training with the under-23s, you got to think that doesn't really.
Come on, man. He's 22. What are you talking about?
That doesn't really bode well for him. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know, but that doesn't. I don't think that's how you treat a legend of the game.
He'll find
train him with the under-23s. Come on.
Maybe that he's asking to. Maybe he's wanting to.
No.
Who knows? You don't know.
No, I don't think so.
You don't know.
I don't know, but I mean, I highly doubt it. So. I don't know. Just real quick, we have one more here. This is more of a rumor. The Philadelphia Union are nearing an MLS move for United States men's national team international player Alejandro Bedoya. So they're trying to bring him into the MLS. The Union are trying aggressively to try and get him from Nantes, who's from the French League One side. It's a fee that would be around a $1 million fee, and then his salary, Bedoya, would be about $750,000 to $850,000 American dollars. So they're trying to bring him here back home to the United States.
Bedoya is a good player. I like Bedoya.
Yeah, I thought he played really well for the team in the Copa America competition.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really part of that team. Unfortunately, he was not able to play in one game. He had to miss a game due to a yellow card. Double yellow cards in the tournament. So hopefully they can bring him into the United States. And for the Philadelphia Union, as they push towards the playoffs in the East, just only like 6 points behind NYCFC, as we updated you in the last segment. So definitely a good move if the Philadelphia Union can get it done.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like we said, Bedoya is a good player. He's still not too old either.
Yeah, he's pretty young, so he definitely does have a future. So I mean, I think that's definitely, I don't know, a good move for the Philadelphia Union if they can complete it. He's 29 years old, so he's not necessarily young, but not necessarily super old. He still has
he's still at prime.
He still has a good 3, 4, maybe 5 years that they can try and sort of mold him into being a great player for Philadelphia Union.
All right, I can dig it. I can really dig it.
Can you dig it,
Sacha?
Sacha?
There's two episodes in a row we talk about Booker T. Oh man. You got anything else for me today, Ben?
I don't think so. I hope that Arsenal sign Alexander Lacazette. Rumors are flying that they are trying to push for Lacazette. Arsene Wenger over the week was really questioned about his transfer policy. And while he's keeping everything secret, he did mention he is trying to add at least another player on the offensive side and the defensive side. So hopefully they can get things done with Arsenal's transfer, record, I want to say. Over the years, they haven't really gotten a lot of things done, and they have been really secretive of things. So hopefully they can get something done for all the Arsenal fans. They definitely need a striker, in my opinion, and a central defender. So,
well, I know when I have Arsenal questions, I go to you, Ben.
Yes, you do, because you know that I support the club.
I guess so. All right, well, support our show and tell them where they can find us.
So you can find us really a ton of places. Mm-hmm. Primarily, number one is you can find us on our GSMC podcast website. That's gsmcpodcast.com. Make sure you click on the soccer portfolio. You can hear all the episodes. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. It's at GSMC_soccer. You can find us on iTunes. iTunes is a big one for us. We're usually fluctuate around the top 100, top 200. You can always search Golden State Media Concepts to find all the shows. They're all on iTunes. You can find us on YouTube, GSMC Podcast Network's on there, as well as Facebook. If you're looking for a mobile playback, something you want to listen to in the car as you're walking maybe to your college class in some people's instances, I don't know. You can find us on Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, just really a ton of different places.
Yes, you can. And you can always find us every Tuesday on here.
Yeah, recording.
GSMC Soccer Podcast.
That's right. So with that being said, I'm Ben.
And I'm Alex.
And we hope you have a good day and enjoy the episode.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
That's right.